Yo, what's up, and welcome to Common Sense. I'm Andre Faro. So, Donald Trump just knows how to trigger the left side in South Africa. He just knows how to trigger the government. He just knows how to trigger the legacy media in South Africa. And man, was it a wildfire. Trump just says one thing about South Africa, and the whole country goes up in arms, trying to debunk every single thing. Either he tweets or put on his own Truth Social, or wherever it may be, South Africa will try their utmost best. But South Africa, I don't know about you, but I remember when Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the G20 will be here in South Africa. And he was shocked at the condition of Johannesburg. Johannesburg is no more the place of gold. It's no more the city of gold. It's no more the city that is like the pinnacle point of South Africa. It's a crap hole. It is filthy. It is dirty. Illegal immigrants are taking over buildings. And yet you have Cyril Ramaphosa shocked at the condition of Johannesburg.
One or two meetings of the G20 that I attended here was not very pleasing. The environment that one observed was not a pleasing environment. I say this so that we can improve immensely. As South Africans, we are proud people, and let us get that pride that we have, self-pride, lift us up so that we do present a G20 that will wow people, so that when people look at what we offer and present, they must just say, wow.
And that's Cyril's response to the condition of Johannesburg. Don't you find it ironic that the exact same party that have been leading this country for 31 years is shocked at one of the most largest cities in the country? I was about to say capital, but it's not. It's Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town. Just a bit of fun fact there for you. But Cyril was in complete and utter shock. Like, Johannesburg cannot be looking like this. And like I mentioned, it is flooded with illegal immigrants taking over buildings. And that's just the truth. That is the bad condition we live in this country. We've got the public sector, like your clinics and your hospitals, flooded with illegal immigrants, where South Africans should be benefiting of this. But no, the South African government once again wants to blame Donald Trump for the condition of South Africa. Yeah, you've got these naive left wings that think South Africa is in the best condition it has ever been. No, let me tell you where South Africa was in the best condition it's ever been. 1994. That's it. 1994. If you don't like what I say, that's your problem. So Trump put on his social media his plan for the G20. But before that, South Africa, I just want to highlight something. Few months ago, Trump said he will be sending someone to represent America. But now he has changed his mind completely. He's decided it's a waste of time of taxpayers' money to send an American to a country that is constantly backstabbing America, while that same country is quick to receive handouts from America. And so this is what Trump had to say. It is a total disgrace that the G20 will be held in South Africa. I agree with him. South Africa is in no condition to be holding anything at this moment. Anything. We got to fix our own backyard. Look at the state of Johannesburg. Look at it. It is not a friendly place. It is not a safe place to be. And yet, Cyril Ramaphosa is quickly to jump on to clean Johannesburg just to show face with international leaders. And then he says, Afrikaners, people who are descended from the Dutch settlers and also French and German immigrants, are being killed and slaughtered, and their land and farms are being illegally confiscated. We all know that there's truth in that. Farmers are being slaughtered, and those criminals take nothing else but attack farmers. I have a friend that is a farmer And he even stated to those guys to take whatever they want, and they didn't. They came straight after him. And so he had to defend himself. So I know that these farmer tax is not just because what the farmers have, but it's because who the farmers are. So Trump says this, that no US government official will attend as long as these human rights abuse continue. I look forward to hosting the 2026 G20 in Miami, Florida. Trump is just laying it out. And it's unbelievable how the South African media is pushing. They are pushing as hard as they can to debunk whatever Trump is saying. Now, you must keep in mind, Trump is not just taking this out of his own, you know what? He's actually going with the facts that he has received of the condition of South Africa. But I want to show you something very interesting, South Africa. So this video went viral on social media because Trump had this to say.
To those places. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. You know, I'm not going to, we have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the Gs anymore because what's happened there is bad. I'm not going. I told him I'm not going. I'm not going to represent our country there. It shouldn't be there. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of South America. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of the world. But now the Democrats.
So Trump can say whatever he wants. It is crazy to think that we live in a world and a time where politicians have to be controlled in what they say, or government officials. But Trump is that guy that will just say what he wants and he doesn't care about your feelings. If you do not like it, that's on you. But of course, we had to have this whole discussion where the legacy media is trying to push Kali Creole as well as AfriForum and Solidarity on what is being said. But these guys have come only afterwards. Trump knew about these things already in 2016. But let's listen to the way the media framed this question to Kali.
Firstly, I'd like to just start here. Do you feel at all responsible for the demise, if I may call it that, of the US-South African relationship?
There we go, finger pointing. So instead of the South African government taking responsibility for their own actions and the conditions of this country, no, let's blame the white man. You know what I mean? Let's blame the white man that has been speaking out the most because he's too loud. So we have to point fingers at him. And this is how the media is pointing it out to Kali.
Essentially, that has affected us greatly, economically so even.
No, not at all. In fact, quite the contrary. We must remember what the timelines are here. On the 2nd of February, President Trump made his first social media post referring to the threat to property rights and farm murders. And we knew exactly what the consequences would be if those issues are not addressed. And that is why we went to the US after that post and made a plea to the US administration not to punish the country for the irresponsible behavior of the ANC. The fact is, the ANC is, of course, and people are falling for this, they don't want to take responsibility for the consequences of their own negative behavior. They now need a scapegoat. But if you go and have a look at, long before we went to the US, in the House of Representatives, there was a bill asking for the review of relationship with South Africa.
So there we have the media once again pointing the finger at the white man. Because you have spoken out too much. You have said too much to the world. Because the South African government was able to hide away all our scandals extremely well. So Ramaphosa is the best at it. When he meets people, he comes across as humble, always smiling. But we know for a fact that that's just a face. We all know for a fact that's not who he is. Because let's be honest, if you have this kind of condition in South Africa, if your country is this bad, where you celebrate giving grants to 28 million South Africans, that's not something I'll be smiling about. If your poverty rate in this country is so high, That's not something I'll be smiling about. If the crime is so high in South Africa where South Africans do not feel safe, I wouldn't be smiling about that. I would be putting my head down and fixing those problems that was caused by the ANC government. I would fix it. I would make sure that South Africans, all South Africans, black, white, colored, Indian, every single one of them, have an opportunity. I would fix up the poverty rate in this country. The white man is the problem. That Donald Trump has used a massive spotlight on the tip of Africa because of the condition of this country. And yet South Africans don't get it through their thick skull. They think it's all jokes and fun and games. But at the moment, South Africa is not at a healthy place. We are at a horrible place. And yet you have the one and only, the fashion designer, the trendsetter, the one that spends the money, the one that showboats of his Gucci. Let's check out the General Secretary, just share his perspective on this.
The ANC want to engage at all with the likes of Solidarity and AfriForum because they have gone to the United States to say that there's a white genocide, and that has led to Donald Trump ostracizing South Africa.
Hold up. They did not go to America. AfriForum did not go to America and say there's a white genocide. They never said that. Media's lying there. They never said that. If you don't want to believe me, check this out.
Calling this not misinformation, and yet multiple local and international researchers, including the SAP's crime data, have debunked the notion of white genocide. Why continue promoting a narrative that has been repeatedly discredited?
That is another lie being spread by the ANC. The fact is, those media institutions that accused us of spreading the white genocide narrative, we took them to the press ombudsman, and already 5 of those institutions had to apologize to us. We never use that terminology. Our stance is quite clear. The kill the boer, kill the farmer chant, calling for the killing of Afrikaners on an ethnic basis, is a genocidal call.
So it's shocking to see that the media will put out a lie and not fix it. It is shocking. And then yet you still have South Africans believe this rubbish.
And threatening to sanction certain ANC members.
Those are a bunch of unpatriotic South Africans. When all failed, they said the sanctions must be directed to the ANC. They distorted our policies, which are about redress.
Disrupt your policies? Hold up. You and your party have been leading this country for 31 years. And you want to blame AfriForum for disrupting your policies. Your policies are so left-wing. And not just that, it is policies of showing that you want South Africa to be a socialist or communist country. And one day fall into the Marxist. But no. Let's keep on blaming the white man. It's the white man's fault.
Which are about the transformation of this country from where we come from. We are not like any other nation in the world. We are leveling the playing field. And if you ask...
Leveling the playing field. While BE, where there was a circulation of trillions of rands amongst only 100 people, and you are one of them.
The ANC to stop redress policies. It's like saying close the shop. The reason why we were formed, we were against racial domination, but at the same time, we were against, suppression and oppression of a people.
There we go, South Africa. He is once again triggering the black man, the colored man, and of course, having the white savior lefties go in a complete, utter crazy by mentioning the famous words of oppression. The famous words of, oh, we are an oppressed nation. If that is how oppression looks like, sitting on that couch with that suit, knowing exactly the cars that he's driving and the mansion he's having, if that is oppression, please give me that. Please. I'm not asking again. Give me that oppression. I would want it. Give it to me.
And those people who were oppressed have now found their voice, and at the same time, we need to level the playing field. And
31 years to level the playing field. Is that the discussion we're having? He's literally saying to South Africa, I must remind you, we are still in 1994. We are still being oppressed. That's what he's saying. We are still being oppressed by the white man. We are still, even though it's 31 years and I'm a millionaire and I have Mercedes and I have all this, I am oppressed. That's what he's saying.
it is reflected even in the structure of our economy that 30 years into democracy, as much as people talk about BEE, but in that BEE, the biggest beneficiaries continues.
Yes, the biggest beneficiaries is you, not South Africans. It is the 100 people in the government that constantly gets the money. Hey, if you don't want to believe me, check this out.
A new study in South Africa has found that BEE has destroyed 5 trillion rands and 4 million jobs in South Africa. This study compares South Africa's model to global models of affirmative action in the US, Malaysia, India, and Brazil. And the report says that affirmative action, or BEE in South Africa's form, has just brought destruction upon South Africa. The report went on to say that 1 trillion rand moved to only 100 people through various BEE contracts. Now, this report was produced by the Free Market Foundation and Solidarity. Now, no matter how you feel about these two organizations, they are not the only ones that are saying this. A few months ago, the World Bank came out and said that BEE in its current form is strangling growth in South Africa. No growth, no jobs.
Continue to even benefit in the African continent. So in this particular instance, we believe that their own criticism of their own country doesn't make them South Africans.
Many are saying what they have done is borderline treason. Do you agree with that?
It is borderline treason, but it sort of meets its partnership in Donald Trump, because it's not the first time that they've been trying this in the U.S.
So he doesn't say why it is treason. Why is it borderline? Show me the law that they have broken. He won't say. Listen to the question she framed. Some would say that this is borderline treason. That's how she phrased it. And then he says, yes, it's borderline treason. She doesn't push back and say, okay, but why do you say it's borderline treason? Which law did they break? She doesn't say that. She sits back and she lets the puppet master keep speaking. You see, this is what you have to constantly ask yourself. What are they pushing? What are they pushing? She doesn't push back and say, what is the treason? Actually, what law did they break? What law did they break? Give us the facts. Don't just sit there and puppet and repeat what I just said. Yes, it is borderline treason. What law did they break? Just give it. But they won't do this, South Africa. They won't do this. And that's the problem we have with them.
And the governments under different presidents in the United States, Republican or whatsoever, have always respected South Africa's sovereignty. For the first time in a democratic dispensation, that we are met with this, persecution by an administration which we thought would have looked at South Africa differently.
So he mentioned something very interesting there. He said, South Africa and America has always had a good relationship. So South Africa, let me give you a timeline quickly. So since 1994, America has been giving out handouts to South Africa. Since 2008, the South African government has decided they are going to put that money into their pockets. And when Donald Trump decided he's going to stop that funding, South Africa went crazy. To a point where President Cyril Ramaphosa had to defend the Minister of Finance when he came out to say that we do not have money. And that was the beginning of this year. To a point that they had to suck up to the United Nations to get something of 4.9 or 4.2 billion just to cover up their debt. We all know that the South African government does not have money. We all know that. The money goes into the pocket of the greedy politicians, the corrupt politicians. And then they sit on couches like us in legacy media and they do not get pushed back. They get these watered down, easy questions, and this is what they do. But you see, South Africa, this is it. We have a government that's running around like a headless chicken. We have the left-wing media running around like a headless chicken. We have lefties on social media running around like headless chickens, trying to defend the best of their abilities to defend this government. We are not in a good place, South Africa. Our unemployment rate is high. Businesses are fleeing this country. Businesses are being shut down because of the laws and policies of this government. We have crime that is so high that it has infiltrated into our government system. Not just that, South Africa. We have South Africans living in bad poverty. But yet this government is quick to give land without putting the proper infrastructure so that those people can live well. And this is the shocking truth. I don't know about you, but I am not happy of the condition of this country. And I truly believe we need leaders to put South Africa first. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification. South Africa, this is Common Sense, where truth wins. God bless.